Hello everybody, and welcome to the webinar for the Ready-to-Use service desk. Let me show you our roadmap regarding the webinars. So for you that already attended the previous one regarding Ready-to-Use, the first one was an overview, and the main topic was the configuration management module of the product. And today we are going to go more in deep into the service desk functionalities. So we will explore the processes and the self-service portal. And as you can see from the roadmap, we also plan to have other webinars for other topics that you can see. So today we are going to cover the ticket summary custom page for the service desk operators. We are going to see how the incident management process works. We are going to see also the other IT processes, so the request fulfillment, problem management, and change management. We are going to see also something about the work orders applied to some of these IT processes. And at last, we are going to check some reports and dashboards related to the service desk. So something that the service desk operator can consult and view. And all this is also, we are going to see this in the CMDBuild user interface, but also from an external user interface that is called the self-service portal. That is an example of a possible user interface for non-technical users. So the first topic is the ticket summary dashboard custom page. As you can see from this entry point, every service desk operator can have an overview of the current status of the service desk that the company provides. And you can see a table with a list of the total amount of current open tickets in a numeric view, so you can see the numbers, or you can see also a little graph showing the statistics regarding the status of the tickets. And you can also show the last month, the last year, or you can decide the time span for the statistics. And then you have the list of the current tickets. The current tickets can be incident, request, problem, or change. And every group role has a different filter, so they will see only their tickets. In this example, I am connected with the hardware desk role. So what an operator can do from this page is to check if the new ticket arrives. They can also check it through email, because they receive an email when a new ticket is opened either from the portal, or also if it's activated, the ticket can also be opened using an email when there is an inbox configured for that. Or they can also open tickets manually if, for example, they receive a phone call from a user. So they can check if there are new tickets, because this page is also automatically refreshed, and you can configure the refresh time. Or they can open a new ticket. So when I try to open a new ticket, as part of my privilege as an help desk operator, so a first level operator, I can only open an incident or a request. In this case, for example, I want to open an incident. So, for example, let's choose one request. So I have a problem with my printer. So the operator, when he or she opens the ticket manually, only needs to say something about the request. The short description is like the subject of the request, and some more details in the extended description. And the area is automatically calculated because as part of my role of hardware help desk, I can only select hardware area tickets, which are under my scope. Otherwise, you can also configure a group to be able to open tickets on multiple areas. And I can say the channel. So, for example, I received an email, or I received a phone call, or a fax. And then I advance the ticket. So when I advance the ticket, the system automatically calculates a number. I'm going to show you all the processes. I guess there are some questions that will arise while I explain everything, so you can feel free to make questions. But I will answer all the questions at the end, like we did in the first webinar. So just feel free to write everything in the chat, and at the end of the webinar, we will have some time to answer all the questions. So going back to us, the system calculates the number. In this case, we chose a pattern to give a number to the ticket, like I am and then a number. But this can also be decided by you, so can be changed. This is just an example of a possible pattern for the number. Then we have the creation timestamp, that this cannot be changed from by the operator because it's automatically calculated. And the request and the description is coming from the previous step, and the channel also. Then I can relate the ticket to a service contract, and this we are going to discuss this when we are going to see the service management module, so we are not going to see this here. I can relate the ticket to another ticket, and then the main part here is to decide the category and subcategory of the ticket. Normally we don't leave this option to the final user, so it's the operator that is going to decide the category and subcategory. So in this case, I have a problem with my printer. I can select the hardware client category and, for example, broken printer. Of course, this list can be completely customized. The list of categories and subcategories that you can see here is just as an example. The same applies for the other closed lists of texts that you can see, the channel and others. Also, the urgency and impact are the same. So also here, you can add the new urgency and impacts. Those two values are important because they there is a matrix to automatically select the priority depending on the urgency and the impact selected. So, for example, in this case, I just choose normal and minor, so probably the priority will be low. But if I select critical, or I select higher values here in these two fields, then the priority will be higher. And then I choose the action. So the action here can be to continue the management of the ticket, either going to the analysis, or either going to the execution, or directly to closure, because maybe it's something very simple to solve, or maybe something that is not valid. So I will tell the user that the request was not valid. Or I can decide that it's not me that is supposed to manage this request, so I can escalate the request, the ticket, to another help desk, or I can escalate it to the second level, which are the specialists. In this case, for example, I want to escalate it to the specialist, and if I do so, you will see that the next role is automatically changed to a hardware specialist. So it's going to be another group that is going to manage this request. Also, we can notice that on the right we have some buttons that can be used. So, for example, the requester button can be used to check the details of the requester. So, for example, I can check the phone number if I need to call the person, or other details, the location. And also here I can decide to link an item, an asset, to the incident. For example, I can say that the printer affected by this ticket is this one, and I select it, and the system is showing me here only the assets are assigned to the requester. So I have a filter that only shows me what the user has assigned. I always have the possibility to remove the filter if for some reasons I want to select something that is outside of this filter. But to make the life easier for the service desk operators, the system proposed this filter by default, which is quite convenient, because here I can see that the user has only one printer, so this is the one affected by the problem. Okay, and then also I have other buttons here to upload attachments. I can view the timetable of the ticket and so on. And regarding the email, we can see that there is an email that was sent to the requester. The email contains all the details of the ticket, so the number, and a summary of all the information, all the main information. In this case, only one email was sent to the requester, and no email was sent to the help desk operators because it was opened manually. So there is no need to notify the help desk. So if we go forward, this ticket will be assigned to the hardware specialist group. And in fact, here now, I can still see the ticket, but I cannot change anything in the ticket, because now the group that should operate on this ticket is the hardware specialist group. And in fact, now I can change, because my user belongs to multiple groups. I can change the group to hardware specialist. And here I can see there is only one ticket, that is the one that was forwarded to me from the first level. And here, finally, I can execute the ticket. In any moment, if the operator needs to check what was done in the past in the ticket, it can check the register with the previous notes, if the operators put some notes. And here we can say, okay, solve it. And the operator can also say, okay, I employed like 1 hour to finish the work. And from here, the operator can suspend the ticket if it needs more information, can return to classification or go to closure. Or you can also loop into the execution multiple times. In this case, we just go to closure. And here, I can finally close the ticket. I can say if it was solved or not, so I can say the result, and I can give an answer to the user. So it was changed something in the printer, and now it works. As you can see now in the top bar, the status is advancing until closed. So at the end, I can just close the ticket. The specialists can also are also enabled to open a change management. So, for example, if I open a new change management, the change can be opened from here, from manually, or it can also be opened by from the incident management if there is a need, or can also be opened from the problem management. So in this case, for example, this user, we received an email saying, okay, I need more resources. And the flow of the change management is quite similar to the flow of the incident management. Except here we don't have the first level, it's only exchanged by between specialists. And there is an approval. So to go into analysis, if I choose a category that needs an approval, for example, I can select category, I don't know, hardware. Add. Or this one. I can also choose urgency and impact also here. And the next role is the change manager, which is the group that should approve this kind of requests. So now I can also change the group, and I switch to change manager group. Okay, and here I can see this request is stuck in the approval step, so I can say, okay, I approve. And once you can decide which kind of change management requires an approval and which ones not. This one, it requires the approval. So if you configure to require the approval, then there are 3 steps of approvals. The approval at the beginning, then the approval of the analysis. So here we can go to the analysis. Okay, now the hardware specialist, which is the group that is assigned to make the analysis for this ticket, can perform the analysis. The request can be implemented, and it will require one hour analysis time. So here I just say the analysis. Here you can also decide to create work orders, but we are going to see later this. Otherwise, skip work orders just means that we don't need work orders. And now the request needs to be approved from the manager again regarding this time the analysis needs to be approved. So I again go to the change manager group, Of course, you can decide which group is the approver and which ones are the specialists and which ones are the help desk groups. In this case, I have a number of groups. As you can see here, I have many, but these are just in the demo data. So in a real situation, you can decide how many hardware, I mean, first level groups and second level groups you have, and how many approvers you have. So here I approve, and at last there is the execution, and the hardware specialist group at the end can note here in the ticket what was done and close the ticket. Okay, so here, change manager. Okay, and the answer is resolved. Okay, then the ticket is closed. And now we are going to see the request fulfillment. So we go back to one of the first level groups, for example, software help desk. So here we can open the request fulfillment from the portal. So I can show you the portal. So this is something that we developed internally as Tecnoteca. And this is a user interface for non-technical users that is communicating to CMDBuild using web services. So this is just an example of what can be done using this framework that we developed, but also using any, let's say, web service client that you can build and to communicate to CMDBuild. In this portal, we just inserted some functions that we considered to be the most important for non-technical users. So from here, the typical operations are to open submit an incident, request a service, or ask a question. Or there is also a knowledge base that can be viewed, checked, and where there are some questions and answers. You can also publish some reports to show to the users. Of course, here you will publish only the ones that you want the final user to be able to see, so you can hide the others. Here you can also check your profile. You can report an error if you can see some data that is not corresponding to the correct one. You can check the assets that you have. You can check some links, and most importantly, and those are the functions that we are going to see today. You can submit an incident, submit a service request, or approve a request. So we already opened an incident, so we are going to open a service request from here. And to open a service request, the user should select a service request from a catalog. The catalog is something that you can configure in CMDBuild, and you can store all the information regarding the services that you offer in CMDBuild. And this portal will just read only the services that you decide to publish in the portal. So you can decide a subset of services that you want to publish, and those ones can be requested by the users. For example, category, I don't know, account and access, services account, and then for service accounts, I have, for example, two possible requests that the user can open. they can ask to open a new account or to reset the password. So for example, I want to open a new account, I can submit the request, and the portal will automatically fill the information about who is requesting, which type of request, in this case is service, the service and the service request. I can decide the urgency, and I can again insert a short description and extend the description in a very similar way like we did for when opening an incident. So short description, for example, I need an account starting from July. Here the user can also attach some documents. Okay, so for example, if they need to fill some information in a file, they can attach it so that the operators then will see it in CMDBuild. In this case, I just attach an image. Okay. Okay, but you can attach every kind of file here. And then that's it. Again, here the final user is not, it doesn't need to say anything else about this. The operator will decide the classification of the ticket. So we can advance this. Okay. Once the ticket is advanced, is inserted into CMDBuild, then in the recent requests, I will see it here in the list. And I can also check it in the My Requests list. Here I will see all requests and incident that I opened through the portal, or also in other ways, through email or via phone call and so on. And here for every ticket I can check the status. So these ones are closed, these ones are new, and I can also send an email to say something about this ticket. If I see that nobody is answering me, I can say something. So if we go back to CMDBuild, in the ticket summary, or an operator can work from the ticket summary or also from the specific view of the processes. For example, if I want to work only on requests fulfillment, I can work here from request fulfillment, and I can see here there is a ticket number 22. So this is the exact same description that was the user inserted in the portal. So now the ticket has arrived in CMDBuild, and if we check the emails here, we can see that there are two emails. If you remember, when we opened the incident manually, there was only one email, but in this case, there are two emails because the ticket is opened automatically from the portal. So we need to notify the help desk, the relevant help desk for this category of tickets, that there is something to do. And in fact, one email is sent to the help desk and the other email is sent to the requester. Okay, so here I have all the information is automatically filled from the portal. So I have the number, creation timestamp, requester, the service that was requested, and so on. The form here is very similar to the one that you can see in the incident management. Also here you have the requester and so on. Plus you also have the work orders. Work orders are only in the request fulfillment. The incident management does not have them. And work orders are some specific set of operations that are included in a specific kind of request. So if a service request has the same set of operations that should be done, you can predefine the set of operations and pack them in a work order and propose it to the operator that can choose if there is a need to start the work order or not. The work order can be executed by any of your groups. In this case, the work order is assigned to software desk. And so if I submit a service request, I can decide if I want to add the work order, or I can also decide to skip it. In this case, I want to just to keep it, so I will keep it. And at last, here I can see the attachments. So as you can see, this is the image that I attached from the portal. The user attached from the portal. So the operator can also check here everything that is coming from the portal. So if I advance this request, what happens is that the ticket goes to the approval step, and there is an email here that is sent to Marlow Serena, which is the approver configured for this kind of service requests. And this is something that you can decide at the service request level. You can decide which requests are pre-approved, so they don't need approval, which ones they need approval from a group of people in CMDBuild, or the ones that needs approval from the portal. In this case, Marlow Serena is a user that is not a technical user, so she doesn't have access to CMDBuild, but we can still allow her to approve, but the approval will be done in the portal. So if we go back to the portal, but this in this case, it's not anymore Aaron Anderson, the previous user. In this case, we are operating as Marlow Serena. And we can see here, if we check the pending approvals, which was one of the menu items in the navigation menu of the portal, we can see two requests to be approved, and one of them is exactly the one I need an account starting from July that we opened previously. So here the approver can check everything and see, okay, the request is coming from Aaron Anderson, the service is this one, the service request is this one, and the priority channel and so on. Okay, approved. And Marlow Serena also received an email with a link to the portal. So the link to the portal allows her to just click on the email in the link in the email and arrive directly here in the portal. So we just approve it. Okay. So now, if we go back to CMDBuild, the number 22 is now again in charge of a software help desk group. So in this case, I need to do the analysis, the final review of everything, and if everything is okay, I will submit the work orders for execution, because this one is approved. Of course, as the relevant group for this ticket, I received an email to say that the outcome of the approval. So approval outcome is this one. Of course, all the body text and subject and the content of the emails can be customized. Okay, so I go execute again, And now, as I configured previously a work order, there is the work order assignment with everything that is pre-selected, the name of the activity, the description of the activity, the role that should execute this activity, and the expected time. So all this information, if for me is okay, I can just assign this work order. In this case, to make it simpler, we have the same group, but this can also be another group, and the group will receive an email saying that there is an activity requested for a specific ticket. So we advance, and at the end, we perform the activity, account created. We can also here in the execution suspend or continue the execution, but now we just close it. Here we have also the usual buttons, so to check the requested data, to upload attachments, and so on. In any moment, all the operators can view the existing attachments, and they can also attach new files, so no, it's not a problem. Okay, when I finish the execution of the work order, I can definitely close it, and the request goes back to the initial group. In this case, to make it simple, it's the same group, but the help desk can be different from the groups that execute the work orders. And we can also execute multiple work orders in the same time. Maybe one to the network specialist, another one for the hardware specialist, and so on, up to 10 work orders at the same time. So now the test says, okay, we can close it. This help desk closure can also be avoided if we decide that the service request automatically closes when the activity is finished. So this is something that you can decide if the service request needs to be closed by the help desk, or if it can automatically be closed by the specialist who performed the work order. So I can close it, and when I close it, it's just finished. So now we have seen incident management, change management, request fulfillment. We can check the last of the 4 IT processes that we have in the system, which is the problem management. But the problem management can only be initialized by the problem manager group. Problem manager group can open a new problem, and the problem management is used to analyze a difficult issue that is causing the rise of many incident management. So when I have many incidents very similar to each other, there is probably something behind that we need to analyze and decide what to do about it. So, okay, frequent problem with network. Okay. So at the beginning, the concept is very similar. So we have an automatic number, and I can give a category. So in this case, I can choose network, network LAN access, for example, urgency and impact, and then the system automatically calculates the role of the analyst who should perform the analysis on this topic. So the problem manager just forward this to a specialist group, which in this case is the network specialist, because it's something about the network. probably about networking. So can put some notes. And here I can also link an incident, for example, or multiple incidents that are related to this problem. So the analyst can check the content of those incidents to analyze better the situation. Now I cannot do anything in the ticket because the ticket should be performed by the network specialist group. Okay, so network specialist. Network specialist has only one ticket here in the ticket summary view, which is the problem that we just opened. So this receives the notes from the problem manager, okay, and can check that the linked incidents, which are here, of course, the incident, the network specialist group needs to have permission to see the incidents. So if they are related to other groups, they cannot see it, but this is you can allow them to see it. And regarding the notes, they can just write some notes here. I confirm this will be a networking issue. And of course, they received an email saying, okay, there was a problem management assigned to them. And also here we can decide if there is a need to perform work orders. So as I said, 1 to 10, but now for simplicity, we just skip them. And they advance it. So they come up with a diagnosis, and we can say something about what happened. The router needs to be okay. In this step, we can also create a new known error database item. For example, if we have discovered a new solution to a recurrent problem. For example, we can say, okay, this is called router reconfig. So we have we can insert a new cause and work around. So the cause can be one existing, or I can create a new one. So network disconnection. And the workaround is the reconfiguration. Reconfig. Okay. So here you can populate with many items every time you discover new solutions. So the operators can check this database to find the solutions to recurrent problems. Because sometimes what happens is that we decide not to fix the problem in the origin because it's too the cost is too much and or is too difficult to solve, and we can have a workaround. So if the workaround works, we just stay with the workaround. Okay, advance. So this is the final results of the problem manager that can summarize. This is linked to a known error database. We have a diagnosis, we have the notes and everything. And here the problem manager needs to confirm the final solution. that the analyst proposed. So the network specialist analyst proposed a solution, and now the problem manager can decide to close it, or if the solution is complex, we can also open a change from here. Now we don't have time to also open a complete change here, but you have this possibility. And at the end, well, it's enough. Okay, it's enough. The configuration. And here I have the 2 incidents linked to this. Okay. And at last, we can close everything. Okay, solved. And success. So for statistical purposes, we can register if the problem was successful or if it failed, because maybe we didn't find a solution. So we close it. And this was the problem management. So now we go back to the first group, hardware and desk. One last thing I wanted to say about the ticket summary page is that from here you also have the possibility to clone an existing ticket. So for example, I have a similar ticket that I want to open, and is similar to this one. I can go to the contextual menu and clone a process. And as you can see, the process is automatically filled using the data from the ticket that I selected, except the requester, of course, because in this case I say that the requester is someone else. And I can just adjust the other data to adapt it to the situation, and I can clone it. When I clone it, the system will tell me with a message that it was successful, and I can from here operate to this ticket as if it was a new one. And then in the same way, I can, for example, close an existing ticket. I can close multiple tickets. So, for example, this one. Want to close them, I need to give the same answer, of course. And I need to fill the missing information if I have. And okay, in this case, maybe I didn't have the permission to close them. So I will just refresh. And then at last, I wanted to show you the dashboard and reports. Okay, so regarding the dashboards, I can see here we have statistics about the status of the tickets that I have available. I have the tickets divided by category, and I can see for each month I can see the open and closed tickets. In this case, I just started in June, so I only have June, but here you can see for the effort of the service desk for each month. And the same applies for the request fulfillment. So those two are very similar, but one is for the incidents and one is for the request. because the incident and request are the core of the service desk. And then change and problem are not something that the user can request from the portal. For example, they are more for internal purposes, so they are not in these dashboards, because this service is more for the service desk. And then I can also check the status, the general status of the tickets. So if they are in closure, they are in approval, execution, and the different groups involved. So the change manager, guest is when they are in the portal, no group assigned, hardware desk, and so on. And the category, so I can make some statistics about this. And then we have some reports. As an example, we have the active tickets. For example, we select a group, for example, hardware desk. And here we have every ticket with the timing. So we have a detail of every ticket with the time, all the information about them. Something interesting is about the average closing time. In this case, I only have statistics about June, but you can also see a graph of the last 12 months, so last year. Or also about the daily distribution. For example, we can check in a certain period of time at what time the tickets are usually opened. For example, in the morning, in the afternoon. So this can be useful for the management, and we can check this for both the incident and the request. So also here we have this information. And then you also have the usual list of tickets. Of course, these reports can be customized. Here we have our logo and so on. Also, we have the general dashboard, but at the end, this one is also available from the dashboard. But if you want this to be printed in a PDF, you can also use this report to show to someone the statistics. So you have the status of the tickets, the groups involved, and the categories, and so on. So you can check all this information here. And that's it. I think I covered all the topics. Okay. If you want here, you can see our contacts. If you have doubts about the service desk functionalities or READY2USE in general, so you have the website of READY2USE, where you can find also some other material, slides and documentation and so on. Because of course in this short time we couldn't go more in deep into this into everything, but we tried to cover everything about the service desk. Okay, I think we came to the end of this webinar, and thank you very much for watching. And go back here to our contacts, just in case you want you need to contact us. And again, thank you very much for attending this webinar. I hope you enjoyed it, and we see you next month with a webinar. This time will be the time of Open Main. Have a nice day.